of it, and really 2 full days a week. The entire Monday and the entire Tuesday was spent on the auction. That's 40% of the week, and I'm Orthodox Jew, so Fridays sometimes end earlier. So sometimes it could be 50% of the week, close to 50% of the week. So 45% of the week. So, and the problem with auctions, I mean, this is not topic of this discussion, but I might as well get into it, is that you never know what you're going to buy ever, right? With the way it works with the auctions is we used to get a list of possible properties on the Thursday before. We would do research on them. A vast majority of them would get adjourned, so they wouldn't be showing up for Tuesday. And then I'd spend the entire Monday driving around to these properties, seeing if they were vacant, seeing what the story is with them, taking a guess as to what I think it was worth. The Tuesday we'd spend at the auction until late. The auction went late. So you never know what's going to show up. You're spending time on properties that may not show up. Even if a property shows up, there's an upset price from the bank, which means the minimum they'll take. Very often that's much higher than you want to spend. And even if the upset price comes in below what you want to spend, it's very possible someone's going to outbid you to a point where you can't afford it. So to me, it was a huge waste of time. Marketing to sellers is a much better use of your time, even though it takes time and there's a lot of rejection. It's not so simple. You may hate it, but it's worth it. So number one, hands down, is start marketing to sellers as soon as possible. Number two is figure out a way to get some pay-per-click. And so that's expensive, and when you're starting, it's hard. But figure out a way, save up money to do it so you can budget out money for it, because that's also a momentum-based process where Google learns the kind of leads that you like, leads that convert, and they learn over time. And if I did this a long time ago, I could have been. Oh, and I'm back. As predicted, I lost you on the Southern State. So another thing I would recommend. See, this one I was sort of thinking about is, I started with a partner and we broke up. I would say if you're going to partner with somebody, make sure they bring something to the table that you can't. Now, the truth is my partner had a really good ability to raise money, and we raised a lot of money, millions of dollars, so that we could buy a lot of properties to, and flip them. But make sure your partner brings something to the table that you don't have. If you both do the same thing, it's a waste of time. I would say don't ever do that. What else would I tell my younger self? I don't know. Well, of course, my wife's calling. So I think it's important that you start marketing, that you come up with a marketing plan, that you understand it's going to take a long time, that you have a pipeline of leads that you do follow up with consistently, because that's really how you build up your business. Building up your business is going to depend on marketing and follow-up. It's not what people think, right? They think you're going to buy a list and you're going to call these people and they're all going to say they need to sell in 15 minutes. That's not what actually happens. What actually happens is somebody says, yeah, I'm thinking of selling. And you get into it and you go visit them and you see what's going on and you make them an offer and they say no. And then you stay with them and then they are ready to sell in 2 years, and you're the guy who's been calling them once a month, or your team has been calling them once a month. And when they want to sell, they sell to you. Now, of course, they still may not sell to you. Let's be honest. You can follow up with somebody for 25 years. They want to sell, and they don't sell to you because somebody offers them more money, and really that's all that mattered to them. But, one of the truest things ever said is the harder you work, the luckier you get. That's the truth, right? So you'll luck out with deals if you're working hard to follow up with sellers. So the more sellers you have in your pipeline that have indicated they want to sell, and the more you speak to them, the more deals you're going to get eventually. That's why the number one thing I would say to myself is start marketing to sellers immediately. If I could turn back time and go back 20 years and start marketing to sellers then, I can't even imagine how much better my business would be now. So I think that's important. I think it's important to. You see, I had a little bit of an advantage in that I had been a stockbroker back in 92, 93. So I had already really built up a pretty good resistance to rejection, right? People telling me to drop dead didn't really bother me since then. That was 20 years ago. So I'm pretty good with that. Some people are not good with that. Some people are, and I understand it, right? Because in the beginning when I was a stockbroker, I was making no money. And our job was to call people and get them to basically send us money and buy a stock that we were pitching. And, we weren't getting paid anything unless you did it. And I figured out how to do it. But also part of figuring out how to do it is to honestly believe that every no from a prospect on the phone gets you closer to a yes. And if that's the way you approach prospecting and marketing, it's much better because you don't take it personally, right? Most people in any prospecting or marketing most people are going to say no. That's just a fact. Whatever you're doing, I don't care if you're telling people you want to send them $100 bills, they're still going to tell you no because people don't trust you, especially in New York. So I would recommend that you build up that resistance by starting to market as early as you can. So I hope this was helpful. I have no idea how long we were cut off for in the middle, but I hope that this ends up being 10-minute length that everybody says you have to do for videos, although I wish I could talk for 2 minutes. So I was helpful. If you're interested in all the ways I can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com. If you're interested in coaching, I'm telling you to go to coaching.howtoflipnewyork.com. It's probably the wrong place to go. I have to change that where that URL is pointing to. Is that better? I don't know if it's better or worse. And I just started my study at home program again. We started recording the first lesson today live. We're doing the second lesson tomorrow. We're going to do 3 of them next week, maybe. I don't know what's going to be next week. I got to go to California for a little bit. My daughter just had another baby. I became a grandfather for the second time. So I don't know what's going to be with that. But if you're interested in a study at home course, you can call me or email me. I'm happy to talk to you about it. I should just change the URL. Whatever. So that is all I have today. Oh, so please, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching on any media channel, please click the thumbs up. The likes really help the algorithm. Lets more people see my video, see me. Then more people like me, more people see me, so it's very good. Also, I post 5 times a week. Very often I have no idea what to say. This came from a question, so I appreciate the questions. Please keep the questions coming. You can ask anything. Does not have to be about the video you're watching. I try to get back to these questions and comments as soon as possible. If it's a simple answer, I'll just reply with an answer. If it's something I've covered recently, I'll send you